Chris, welcome to London Real in Dubai.
Big pleasure to be here. It's a big honor to be here. Thank you very much for inviting me. I think 2020, March, April, I watched you the first time. You didn't know at all who I was, but I definitely knew who you were. You were a very critical voice in the space. And I was thinking, wow, we need media like this. I think one time you said, I do not agree with everything you say, but I will fight till death for your right to say it. And that is beautiful. I think this is exactly what also Bitcoin is about. It's about freedom. Freedom is very important, especially during those times where we have evil growing. And it's a big pleasure to be here for sure.
Wow. Well, thanks for saying that. Really appreciate that. And I feel like the Bitcoin community was one of the first communities to really embrace that freedom. But I didn't always know that. And so when I met you back in 2022, I was in Dubai, pretty much my first time ever. I was at the GITEX conference, which is this massive tech conference downtown. And there was a little section where crypto was. And I bumped into a couple of you kind of high-level crypto guys in Dubai. And I think I first met Carl the Moon, and then later I got asked to come to an event. And Da Vinci was there. I met you. I met Crypto Kid and Crypto Jack. And I'll be honest with you, I was completely surprised with how welcoming you guys were. I mean, here you are at the top of your game, right? Making crazy money, and yet you still allowed me to kind of come in your circle. And I remember telling you guys, wow, you guys have something special here. And the other thing I noticed is that you guys weren't competing with each other. And if you look at those names I just mentioned, in any other industry, Chris, I think they would be trying to beat each other and, fighting with each other. And yet you guys were supporting each other. I still remember Crypto Kid is this 15-year-old kid there. And you're like, yeah, keep going, make another video. You guys were really promoting him. And you had this kind of abundance mentality, Chris. And I was really impressed. And so I was like, these guys are different. And so, I kind of want to go into that and try to find out, because the leadership comes from the top, and I believe that mentality is in you. I think it's in Carl. I think it's in Da Vinci. Today you posted on your Instagram, and I think you posted you were at 1.6 million followers on Twitter. And you said another milestone growing so fast. You said it's unreal. 8 years ago, I drove a taxi. Now I pop up on YouTube if you search Bitcoin most of the time. And I was #1 trader out of 50 million people on Bybit recently. You said everything seems so unreal. Every day I need to ground myself and make sure I don't lift off. All my gratitude goes to God first, and to my family and you guys for supporting. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Bro, that's heavy.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a nice moment. Again, every day I wake up and I realize what's happening. It's crazy, and it seems still unreal after 8 years. I mean, crypto is crazy. What you just mentioned before, that we are supporting all each other. I mean, if you understand what Bitcoin is about, it's a network, right? And a network gets more valuable with more people joining that network. If you have 2 telephones, there's just one connection in between them. If you have 3 telephones, there's 1, 2, 3. If you have 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and in between you have 5, 6. So it exponentially grows. The more people are joining the network, exponentially, the more valuable the network becomes. That's the case for Bitcoin. That's the case for your own network also. So us YouTubers, we are usually sticking together. In crypto, I think everyone kind of understands that, with some exceptions. There are always good and bad people, but even exchanges are collaborating behind the scenes with each other, right? No one is really fighting each other, because in the end of the day, everyone in crypto, if you are a force for good, we are all in for the same reason. And there is no reason for competition. We need to stick together to grow like as a kraken, to eventually take over the world in a good way and improve what's going wrong at the moment with the traditional financial system.
Now that's great in theory, but to see it happen in practice is another thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Because 8 years ago, you're driving a taxi. Now the taxi's driving you. I just met you outside. And, you've got, a lot of other things that you can do whenever you want to do it. And I don't know many other industries where someone like that would stay grounded. You look at music and Hollywood and movies and even influencers in other spaces, and they're going to get to a point where they seem invincible. They seem like Superman. They seem like they deserve it. And yet I always see you kind of grounding yourself. I see you at conferences. You take pictures with everybody at the conference. And this is something even more. You actually sit there and listen to these people, and then you look in their eyes. And I was watching you at Blockchain Life. And again, people come up to me, and I'm introverted. I think you're introverted too. I get exhausted after that. I mean, people don't understand if you're an introvert. After 50 or 100 interactions, I have to go home and be alone for a long time.
Yeah.
And I've seen you there, and you're not just like, yeah, bye. You're like listening to the person the whole time and giving a lot of your time and energy. How do you still do that?
Well, it's the reason why I go to these conferences, right? As we talked before the recording, I don't want anyone's business. So I go to these conferences, I speak for free, I don't take any money. I promote the conference if I think it's a good conference. And I go mainly for the reason just to meet the people who are watching me every day in real life, right? So I think, okay, I go there for 3 hours. These 3 hours I will fully dedicate to my followers. And if I was on the other side before, I was a follower of other people, right? These YouTubers back in the days, they helped me to discover Bitcoin. So that's why I think I kind of owe those people who are partially also the reason for my success to just dedicate some time to them and listen to them. So it's always a big pleasure to meet those people. But just as you said, I think everyone watching this, they will think I'm a big extrovert. But yeah, I definitely have a big part of myself being an introvert. So I feel that also after the conference, even though I seem like an extrovert, I am a little bit exhausted. And when I'm coming home, I need to relax a little bit. And it rather takes a little bit of my energy than it gives me. But I do think I'm a little bit something in between, because when I'm on stage, I'm definitely more energized afterwards than before. Just all these actual interactions, they are a little bit draining.
Yeah, I think we need a new word, because it's not one or the other. It's not black or white. It's like some weird combination.
Yeah, that's. I think we are very similar in regards to that.
I think here's a secret for a lot of people listening or watching, is that most YouTubers are introverts. And yet you wouldn't think that, because here they are talking and screaming and whatever they're doing. But if you meet them in real life, a lot of times they are introverted, but YouTube is their medium for connection and expression. And so same with me. I mean, I do a TED Talk, or you'll see me doing this, but I'm an introvert giving a really good impression of an extrovert. And I think actually that's where the power is. If you can work on your shortcomings or work on the things you're not as good at, if you can find an introvert that can act extroverted, I think that's more powerful than an extrovert, because an extrovert has to have people around him all the time. Whereas I think it's good to be amongst yourself sometime and connect with your heart and plan what you want to do. So I think it's a nice combination.
Since I joined London Real, I've already invested in 7 deals, and I'm incredibly excited because that will change my life. That will change the life of my family. That is building generational wealth. And honestly, the first time I was in the Zoom meeting, I was like pinching myself, like this can't be real. If I was not part of the London Real Investment Club, there is no way to participate in the beginning of those companies.
We're investing in the companies that are running the ecosystem. I'm in the room listening to these guys that are making things happen. These are change makers. These guys are visionaries.
If any of you that are sitting on the fence wondering if this investment is worth it, I promise you, the knowledge and the insight you will receive, that alone will change your life.
All of us are worthy and deserving of the wealth. We have the same rights as anybody else on this planet.